Super Rugby jersey rankings for 2022, folks. I love me a rugby jersey. You guys know that. I don't have a degree in design or anything, but what we're going to do is go through the 2022 home jerseys for the Super Rugby Pacific teams and rank them from my least favorite to most favorite. And I'm going to put it out there that I actually think the crop of jerseys we've got for Super Rugby 2022 this year is actually pretty good. I don't think we've got any real stinkers. So I kind of like them all. It's just kind of the order I like them. So, but like I say, take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But you guys let me know which jerseys you think are the sharpest. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. 12th. I feel bad to do this because it's their first season. But the Fijian Drua home jersey, I don't know, man. It's just a little bit boring, eh? It's blue. It's got a little bit of green on it. I don't know. I kind of wish we hadn't gone with blue. Like, we got two new teams in Super Rugby, Moana Pacifica and the Drua, and they both had to go with blue. I guess the water is kind of a theme with both teams, with Moana and, with the Drua having a canoe. So that kind of makes sense. It's just like, bloody hell, we've already got the Waratahs and the Blues and the Rebels and the Force. Like, we've already got so many teams that wear blue, but there we go. The Drua jersey, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a blue jersey with a little bit of green on it. So aqua, there you go. Next, I went with the Melbourne Rebels, another one of the blue teams. And again, I don't mind the jersey. I kind of like the two tones of the Melbourne Rebels jersey. It's got the little red trim around the sleeves. I just don't like the skyline that much. I think it's a bit too clear. I've got some other jerseys which have got skylines on them, but they're usually a little more subtle. That one just sticks out a little bit too much for me personally, but there you go. I'm assuming that's part of the skyline in Melbourne. The Canes I've got in at number 10, and I don't mind the Canes jersey, but they've got National Storage as their sponsor, and their logo is legit yellow and black, which absolutely fits in with the Canes jersey. It's got a little bit of the swirly whirly thing going on, which makes sense because they're the Hurricanes. So there's nothing particularly wrong with it. I just like some of the other jerseys better. There you go. I would have liked maybe a more aggressive swirly whirly. I don't know. And the Highlanders in at number 9. What I do appreciate about the Highlanders is the collar and the sleeves have got that kind of maroon trim on them. I do like that. I don't know. Just the rest of the jersey for mine is a touch on the dull side, but then again, I've got some others above this jersey which are even more on the dull side. So go figure, man. This is just me and my rankings. I preferred the previous Highlanders jerseys to this one for whatever sick reasons I've got going on in my head. The Tars jersey in 8 is kind of a classic. I don't think this one's one that's going to date terribly badly. It's a little bit more of a sky blue than the previous Waratahs jerseys we have seen. So it's a bit lighter on the old blue, but it doesn't have a big sponsor in the middle of it. And like I said, I don't think that's one that's going to date terribly badly. You could say the same thing about the Drua jersey, to be fair. The Drua one is that simple that it's probably not going to look out of place in a few years' time. So the Waratahs one is just kind of a simple, clean jersey. Likewise, the Brumbies. The Brumbies never really take a whole heck of a lot of risks with their jerseys. Like, if you lined up a bunch of Brumbies jerseys from the last 10 years, they're probably all much of a muchness. You wouldn't really be able to tell, maybe apart from the changing sponsors, which was from which year. They tend not to, look at that one I've got hanging there. It's not a heck of a lot different. They don't take a heck of a lot of risk, which means I never think their jerseys look terrible, but then I never think they look kind of the best. But it is kind of a simple, clean jersey. The Forces one is a little bit more of a risk in that they've got the kind of black stripes with the Goodyear thing going down the sides. I think I prefer their away jersey, which is black, but I'm an All Blacks fan, so the fact that I've got an affinity to a black jersey is kind of unsurprising. But yeah, I like the blue. I like the shape. The sponsors one's not particularly offensive. I think the Forces jersey this year is actually pretty tidy. Obviously, Harvey Beef was a more entertaining sponsor than Altrad, but there you go. The Blues, I actually really quite like the Blues jersey. I like the dark blue look. I like the pattern. I mean, obviously it's another blue team. But what I don't like about it is the sponsor. The NIB really gets in the way. It's just the big green blob, eh? I still can't stand the big green blob, but everything else I do like about the Blues jersey. I don't own that jersey. I own the previous season's one, I think, and the green on that one still bothers me. NIB's been locked in as a sponsor for years, so yes, NIB, we thank you for the money, but man, we don't thank you for the big green blob. Crusaders actually took a bit of a risk. And this is what I mean about jerseys that may date. Like, I feel like this jersey may look a bit dated in a few years. But the Canterbury region is mountainous compared to the rest of the country. Or at least certainly compared to where I live. And the fact that they've got mountains, which kind of blend in, the black and the red, I quite like it. I don't know, it's distinctive. In a few years, you'll certainly look back and be able to remember that jersey. Whether it'll be fondly or not, as I said, remains to be seen if it dates or not. But I think they did a pretty good job of it, and it looks pretty sharp. You could have certainly gotten that one pretty wrong, but I think they got it pretty right. And the Hyundai logo is kind of unobtrusive with white. Queensland, I feel like I always rate these guys high, but they tend to do pretty good jerseys. I don't know what it is. Maybe the fact that it's kind of not symmetrical will bother me because it's got Queensland on there. Well, I like that. It's subtle. Unlike the Melbourne Rebels skyline, which is very imposing, the Queensland shape there, the outline of it is kind of subtle, which I can appreciate. But yeah, part of me wishes it was maybe a bit more centered. I don't know. Maybe it works in its current form. I'm not sure, but it's a simple enough jersey. It doesn't have anything particularly that's off-putting about it. I think it works pretty well. The sponsors blend in well enough. They've gone back to the old traditional maroon instead of the full-on red. So there you go. Queensland Reds, bronze medal. Second spot goes to the jersey that I am wearing, and that is Moana Pacific. And they took a bit more of a risk than the Fijian Drua guys. They've got the two-tone theme going on. They've got the big sail, which is kind of a very kind of common theme in Pacific designs. The logo looks sharp. They've got this kind of orangey yellow trim on the collar and on the sleeves. I just think that jersey looks really sharp, eh? I think they did a really, really good job of it for an inaugural jersey. I think that one looks really sharp. But my number one is the Chiefs, and this is another one that may date. This kind of looks like the Chiefs one, what is it, from like 2018? It's kind of got those vibes. And when I see the 2018 one now, maybe it's 2017, I don't think it looks as sharp. And I may feel the same about this Chiefs one in a few years. But they pushed the envelope a little bit more with this one than some of the other teams, right? They took a bit of a risk with like a bunch of colours. They've got the Māori pattern there, which kind of speaks to their roots, and it's like they've had jerseys before which were kind of a bit more plain, like they had the same designs, but you could hardly notice them. But this one really, really sticks out. So yeah, you won't go missing in a crowd if you're wearing that Chiefs jersey. And I don't know, man. I just think it looks really good. I reckon that the logo blends in with the sponsor. I think they've done a cracking job on that Chiefs jersey. So there you go, folks. That's my jersey rankings for 2022 for the home jerseys anyway. As I said, I genuinely don't think there's any absolute stinkers in this lineup. I actually think they're all pretty good. Like some years you've got ones that genuinely look quite bad. But I think they all look all right. It's just some of them I kind of prefer to others. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. Which one do you think is the kind of best Super Rugby jersey? Do you prefer the ones that have kind of taken a bit more of a risk, like the Chiefs and the Crusaders? Or do you kind of like the ones that are a bit more consistent, maybe like the Tars and the Brumbies, even to an extent the Drua guys who kind of kept it simple? But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.